more person, so we'll give them a couple of minutes here. But in the meantime, if you would like to get any props for today's class set up, I'm not sure if everyone saw my message, but you will need at least one block, probably 2 blocks is ideal. And if you have like a small blanket or like a throw blanket or a towel that you can roll up, that would be a good prop to have today. And then the last one would be a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, I'm going to be using this physical therapy band, and you could use like a kitchen towel, or you could use a strap from a robe or something like that. So we will go ahead and get started, and you can, as usual, leave your cameras off, or if you want to turn them on, that's great too. Our theme today is letting go. I know that as you arrive to an evening yoga class, you might be experiencing a lot of tension from your day. We're probably all experiencing a lot of tension from the events that are happening in the world around us. Many of us sit in desks or in a car all day, and we have a tendency to kind of round our shoulders and hunch forward. So today we're going to work on letting go physically and mentally, and particularly opening up the shoulders and working on the neck a little bit. So we are going to start in a reclined pose, and I'm going to walk you through some options here. So we're going to start in a supported fish pose, and there's a couple of options for that. First recommendation, here comes our other, oh no, that's Sherry again. The first thing that you'll need, first prop that you'll need is a block, and I would put it on the medium setting like this. And so you can place that up at the head of your mat. And one option, if you want a really gentle supported fish pose, I would use the rolled up blanket if you have one, or the rolled up towel. And you can place that right here up against your seat, and then just recline back on and find your block and rest the head on the block. That's one option. I'm actually going to use a second block. I like a little bit more of a little bit deeper shoulder opener. So I'm going to use a second block. And if you have a second block, that's an option as well. So here you can place your block on the medium setting and place it just underneath your shoulder blades. And then relax the head back, find your block here, and let the head rest. We're going to start with a little bit of self-care, a little bit of love for the neck. I'm going to just mute. I think we got some, I don't need to unmute. If you need to unmute while we're in practice, that's fine too. So we're going to start by taking the block and tipping it up actually onto the high setting here, finding the edge of the block and placing it just underneath the base of the skull here. So you've got your edge of your block pressing against the suboccipital lobes here, and you're hanging on to the block, and just gently start to roll the head back and forth from left to right. And you'll find a nice massage here in the suboccipital lobes. If you've had a lot of tension in your day, this can be a really great technique to come home and try to relax the neck and the shoulders. And just gently rolling back and forth. And when that feels like enough, you can return the block to a stationary position and extend the legs out long and relax your arms at your side. Palms can be facing up or down, whatever's comfortable for you. Coming into a supported fish pose, relax the gaze or close the eyes, whatever's comfortable. And begin to arrive on your mat. Letting go of the thoughts of your day. Checking in with the body, starting to scan from the toes up the legs, noticing any tension in the legs or the bottom half of the body, maybe wiggle the toes, scanning the hips and the belly, and just noticing where you might be holding tension in your body right now. Noticing without judgment. And then check in with the mind. What is the quality of the thoughts of the mind today? Again, noticing without judgment. Are thoughts sticky? Are they floating through the brain freely? There's something you're holding on to. And try to let go of anything that is not serving you for the next 60 minutes so that you can focus on yourself and your practice today. Begin to notice the breath without trying to change it or control it. Noticing the inhales and the exhales. We'll find our Ujjayi breathing, sealing the lips and gently constricting the back of the throat. And inhaling through the nose. And as you do so, you will hear a kind of oceanic sound in the back of the throat. So like an ocean wave. And then exhaling through the nose. Listening for that oceanic sound. Keeping the lips sealed. And on every inhale, we have an opportunity to receive. And every exhale, we have an opportunity to let go of something. So continuing your Ujjayi breathing, inhaling to receive perhaps peace, serenity, exhaling to let go, perhaps tension, worries. And continue a few more rounds of Ujjayi breathing at your own pace, letting your body be the guide. When you're ready, flutter your eyes open, and you can roll onto your left side and remove any props that you have, your blocks or your bolster or your blanket. We'll come into an easy seated pose here. So legs crossed and sit bones are connected to the earth, and the stack your vertebra one on top of the other from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, and gently drop the chin, relax the shoulders. And on an inhale, get tall. And on an exhale, gently tip the chin up towards the sky as far as is comfortable for your neck. Inhale to come back to center, and exhale to drop the chin. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, look to the right as far as is comfortable for your neck today. Inhaling, coming back to center. And exhaling, turning to the left. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, tip the chin up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, drop the chin. Inhale to center. And exhale, turning to the right. Being mindful of the neck. Inhaling to center. And exhaling, turning to the left. Inhale back to center. We'll bring our hands to our shoulders, elbows out in front. And doing a couple of shoulder rolls, circling the elbows to the back. And then circling the elbows forward. And then finding stillness and dropping the hands. Go ahead and find your strap. And we'll place our straps, we'll place our hands out in front of us, about shoulder width apart. So grasping onto the strap and inhaling the hands overhead and exhaling, drawing the right hand towards your mat, feeling a stretch in the left side of the body. Inhaling, coming back to center and exhaling over to the left. Inhale, come back to center and exhale to the right. Inhale to center and exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Widen the grip of your strap so that your arms are like a wide V. Take an inhale here, and on an exhale, as far as is comfortable, bring the strap behind your head, opening up the shoulders. Inhaling, coming back up, and you may need to lengthen the grip on your strap. That's totally fine. And exhaling to bring the strap behind the shoulders. It's a really good stretch for the rotator cuff. Inhaling, coming up. And exhaling one more time behind the shoulders. And inhale to come back up. You can set the strap to the side for a second. We're going to come back to it. Extend the right leg forward and cross the left thigh over the right thigh. So your knees are stacked on top of each other here. And your left foot, your left ankle is resting on the mat. You can stay here, or you can come into Gomukhasana legs by tucking the right ankle towards the left hip. So knees are stacked on top of each other here, sitting up nice and tall. Sit bones are connected to the earth. Both sit bones are connected to the earth. And find your strap. And if you're using a regular yoga strap, you might want to have the buckle end in your hand and maybe shorten it a little bit. Inhale to bring the right arm up and exhale to bend at the right elbow. Bring the left arm behind you, palm facing outwards, and find your strap for Gomukhasana arms or cow face arms. Make sure that you're not pressing against the neck or the head here with the right arm. Get nice and tall, and let's take 2 rounds of breath here. And then release your strap, bring the left arm back in front of you, and go ahead and lower the right arm, place the strap on the ground, uncross the legs, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. Keep the left leg extended and cross the right thigh over the left thigh, stacking one knee on top of the other. And again, you can stay here. This is a pretty good hip opener already. Or you can tuck the left foot back towards the right hip into Gomukhasana legs, cow face legs. Stacking one knee on top of the other. Taking a moment to make sure your sit bones are grounded into the earth. And then bringing your strap into the left hand. And again, if you have a regular yoga strap, maybe put the buckle in the hand. And inhale to raise the left arm. And exhale to bend it behind you. Bring the right arm behind you and grasp for the strap here. Getting nice and tall, making sure not to press against the neck here. And let's take 2 rounds of breath. And release the strap, lower the arm, untuck the legs, shake them out, and we'll come into tabletop position to set up for cat-cow. So flat back, shoulders are stacked over the wrists, hips are stacked over the knees, fingers are spread wide. And on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, and lift the tail. Coming into cow pose. On an exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail, drop the chin, coming into angry cat. Inhaling into cow, flossing out the spine, exhaling into cat. Take a few more rounds at your own pace, letting your breath be your guide. Inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. And then take whatever organic movement feels good. Maybe barrel rolls, maybe figure 8, just opening up the spine, opening up the hips and shoulders. When you feel complete, find stillness in your tabletop, flat back. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, the gaze follows. And exhale to thread the right arm underneath the left, bringing the right ear to the mat. And then invite a half bind by bringing the left hand to the base of the spine, palm is facing up, and maybe you can grasp the upper thigh on the right side, trying to keep your hips level. And take 2 breaths here. And then return the hand next to the face. Inhale to press up, gaze follows. Exhale, the right arm comes back to the mat. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale to thread the left arm underneath the right, resting the left ear on the mat. You can keep the hand here, or you can invite that half bind by bringing the right arm behind you, placing it on the lower back, palm facing up, and grasping for the left upper thigh. Take 2 rounds of breath here. And if you took the bind, return the hand next to the face, pressing up, inhaling, sweeping the left arm up, gaze follows, and exhaling back into our tabletop position. Spread the knees wide and let the big toes touch. Send the hips back into child's pose. And if it's comfortable, you can rest your forehead on the mat. Interlace the fingers. And if it feels okay on your shoulders today, bring the hands to the base of the neck for a deep tricep stretch here. If this feels like too much on your shoulders, you can move the elbows away from the ears a little bit. If you want a deeper stretch, you can bring them in closer towards the ears.
And then see if you can scoot one elbow and then the next towards the top of your mat. See if you can sink your hips a little bit deeper. And then release the hands, pressing back up into tabletop. Tuck the toes and send the hips up and back into our first downward facing dog. Take a moment to look at the hands, make sure they're spread wide, fingers are pointing towards the top of your mat, shoulders are relaxed, head is relaxed, and gaze is towards the feet, towards the shins. Maybe pedal out your dog, bending one knee and then the other, stretching out the back of the legs. Maybe shake the head no, shake the head yes. And then inhale to bend the knees, look at the hands, and exhale to step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale for a half lift, and exhale to fold. Interlace the fingers behind the back and let the body get heavy. Let the belly rest on the top of the thighs. Let the head be heavy, crown of the head hanging towards the ground. And find a shoulder rinse here. Maybe shake the head no, shake the head yes. Release the hands. Inhale for a half lift, flat back, and exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, interlace the fingers, and press the palms away from you towards the sky. It's kind of hard to see me here. Inhale to get tall, and exhale to the right. Inhale to come back to center, and exhale to the left. Inhale to center, and bring the arms parallel to the mat, to the earth. Take an inhale here, and exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center, and exhale, twist to the left. Inhale to center, and lower the arms. Place the hands at the base of the spine, fingertips pointing away from you. And inhale to get tall, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And if this feels good, you can stay here. Or if it doesn't bother your neck or your low back, you can inhale to press the hands into the back and gaze up. For a tiny baby back bend here. And then come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale for a half lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale to pick up the left foot and step it behind you. Drop the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale to shine the heart forward. Exhale to sink the hips a little bit deeper. Stay here or start to bring the toes towards the glutes by bending the left knee. And perhaps if it's accessible to you today, you can reach around with the right hand and grasp the left toes. For a bind here and a deep quad stretch, gazing over the right shoulder. Take a breath here. And then if you took the bind, gently release the toes, come back to frame the foot, hands come back to frame the foot, and step the right foot back to meet the left for plank pose. Take a moment here in plank pose to engage the core, engage the quads, and slowly lower yourself to the mat, onto your belly. Bring the fingertips underneath the shoulders, zip up the legs, Squeeze the thighs and perhaps the kneecaps lift up off of the mat. And on an inhale, peel the heart up off the mat, keeping the neck long. Take an inhale here and exhale to lower. Press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up the left leg and send it between the hands. Take your time to get there. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Inhale to shine the heart forward and exhale to sink the hips a little bit deeper. You can stay right here, or you can bend the right knee, bringing the toes towards the glutes and reaching around with the left hand to grasp the toes for a deeper quad stretch. Take a round of breath here, letting the hips sink. And then gently release the toes, frame the foot, tuck the back toes, and inhale to step to the top of your mat. Exhale to fold. Inhale for a half lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, circle sweep the arms. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a round of centering breath here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale for half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, pick up the left foot and step it back, planted at a 45-degree angle. We're setting up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 here. Inhale, come on up into your Warrior 1. And let's take a minute just to kind of get organized in Warrior 1. So our back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Maybe the heel is planted on the mat. Right foot, right knee is stacked over the right ankle. We can see the big toe. Maybe we're pressing the right knee out to the right a little bit if we can. Hips are square towards the top of our mat. And then release the left arm alongside the left leg and inhale to reverse your warrior. Inhale to come back up, arms out into Warrior 2. Warrior 2, our foot is going to be the back edge of our left foot. The knife edge of the left foot is lined up parallel with the back of the mat. See if you can sink a little bit deeper in that front leg, almost at a 90-degree angle. Strong arms, gazes out over the right fingertips. And flip the right palm up and bring the right elbow to the right knee. Bring the left arm alongside the left ear for extended side angle pose. Take a round of breath here in extended side angle. Make sure that you're not dumping that weight on the right side and the elbow. You're just resting this elbow here. You're not putting your weight there. And bring the left hand to the low back behind you, palm facing up for a half bind. You can stay here in this half bind, or if it's part of your practice, you can come into a full bind here by bringing the right arm underneath the right leg and finding the left hand behind you. Stay here for a round of breath, feeling the fire in the right leg. And then release the bind if you took it, and place the left hand on the left hip. Find your block and bring it to the top of your mat. And slowly start to bring the left leg towards the top of your mat, lifting the left foot for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You can use your block to support you here. You can keep the gaze down for balance. Feet should be flexed towards the face. Or you can challenge yourself by bringing the gaze up to the opposite wall. You can keep the hand on the hip for balance, or you can challenge yourself by opening up the left arm. And maybe possibly today gazing at that left fingertip. Stay here. If you fall out, it's okay, come back in. And if you want an extra challenge, you can bend the left knee and find the left toes with the left hand for sugar cane pose. Take a breath here. And we'll come out the way we came in. So release the left toes, returning to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Bring the left hand to the left hip, and we'll come back into warrior two. Inhale to straighten the right leg, and exhale to float the left hip back and hinge into triangle pose. Left fingertips are towards the sky. Maybe the gaze is up at the left fingertips if that feels okay for you. Maybe keeping a micro bend in the right knee. If you have a tendency to hyperextend, shoulders are stacked on top of each other. And then inhaling to come back up and turn the right toes so they're facing the long edge of your mat. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Take an inhale to get tall and press the knuckles towards the mat. And an exhale to fold forward. Another shoulder rinse here, getting rid of some of that tension from our day. Maybe you want to shake the head no, shake the head yes. Maybe you want to bend one knee and then the other. And then release the bind. Inhale to come back up. And exhale to step to the top of your mat. Let all of that go. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to step the right foot back. Plant it at a 45-degree angle. And then go ahead and come on up into warrior one. Hips are square towards the top of your mat. Relax the shoulders. Deepen the bend in the left knee. Take a round of breath here. And then drop the right hand alongside the right thigh. And inhale to reverse your warrior. Inhale to come back up into warrior two. So warrior two, the knife edge of our foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat. Deep bend in the front knee. The toes are peeking out. We can see them. Gaze is over the middle finger. Strong legs, strong arms. Take a round of breath here. Maybe you feel some shaking. Shaking is good. And then flip the palm on the left hand. Bend the elbow and place the elbow on the knee. Bring the right arm up alongside the right ear for extended side angle pose. Gazing up underneath the right armpit. And then start with a half bind by placing the right hand at the sacrum, palm is facing up. And see if you can reach in for the left crease of the left thigh, that half bind.
Gaze over the right shoulder. And you can stay here. Or if it's in your practice today, you can try for a full bind by bringing the left arm underneath the left leg and grasping the right hand. Staying here for 2 breaths. Feeling the shaking, maybe. And then release the bind, bring the right hand to the right hip. And we'll set up for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So we're gonna scoot the right foot towards the top of the mat, find our block, and inhale to bring the right foot up, flexing the toes. You can have your gaze down for stability, or challenge yourself by bringing your gaze to the side, looking at the wall. You can keep your hand on your hip, or you can open up the right arm towards the ceiling. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the right hand. Stay here or bend the right knee. And maybe the right hand finds the toes. For sugarcane pose, glancing over the right shoulder, taking a round of breath here. And then releasing the toes, coming back into your half moon pose. Again, if you fall out, it's okay, just come back. And release the back foot, coming into our warrior 2. Hips are open to the long edge of your mat. Gaze is over the left fingertips. Inhale to straighten the left leg and exhale to float the right hip back and hinge into triangle pose. Right fingertips towards the ceiling. Gaze can be down. It could be neutral. If it's okay on your neck, you can gaze up the hands. The right hand. And then inhale to come back up. Pivot the left toes towards the long edge of your mat. Feet are parallel. Interlace the fingers behind the back and press the knuckles towards the mat. Inhaling to get tall and exhaling to fold over into a forward bend. Maybe the fingers are interlaced in the opposite grip from what you took last time. Noticing if there are any differences. Finding whatever movement you like to have in your forward bend. Maybe bending each knee. Maybe shaking the head. And then inhaling to come up. Bring the hands to the hips and step to the top of your mat. Let all of that go. Take a round of centering breath here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale to step back to plank. And exhale to lower the knees. And then one at a time, we're going to bring our forearms to the mat. So we're in a supported forearm plank. And then slowly lowering the belly to the mat to set up for our Sphinx pose. So shoulders are stacked over the elbows. Palms are planted in front of you. Fingers are spread wide. Legs can be relaxed. Chest is shining forward. Heart is shining forward. Isometrically feel if you can draw your elbows towards the back of your mat. And then on an inhale, bend the right knee, bringing the toes towards the glutes. If it feels okay, gaze over the left shoulder. and then release. Inhale, bend the left knee. And exhale, gaze over the right shoulder. And then release. We'll do it one more time. Inhale to bend the right knee. And exhale to gaze over the left shoulder. If it's okay with your neck. And then lower the leg, come back to center. Inhale to bend the left knee. And exhale to gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale to come back to center, lower the leg. And we'll come into a half frog. So you're going to draw the left knee. We'll start with the left knee since you can see my left knee. Draw the left knee up towards the left elbow. Gazes forward. We're still in our Sphinx pose. And we'll take a few rounds of breath here. A nice stretch for the hip flexor here. And bring the left leg back to neutral. And bring the right knee up towards the right elbow, coming into a half frog. Taking a couple breaths here. And then returning the leg to a neutral position. And bring the hands to the center of your mat, making a little pillow with your hands, and rest the forehead on the hands in crocodile pose. Take 2 rounds of breath here. We're going to set up for a broken wing here. So we're going to extend the right arm out to the side. The left arm is next to your face. The right ear is resting on the mat. So the right arm is stretching out to the right. You're going to slowly start to roll onto the right side of your body. It's a little bit more gentle if you can draw your knees up towards your chest. But if you want a deeper stretch, you can keep your legs straight, or you could even bring your left foot behind your right foot. I'm going to stay in the more gentle version of broken wing here. And feel this pretty deep shoulder opening here. Taking a couple breaths. And then roll back onto your belly. Bring the right hand back to frame the face and extend the left arm off to the side. And begin to slowly roll onto the left side, maybe drawing the knees towards the chest, keeping the left ear on the mat, relaxing the head. And take a couple of rounds of breath here to invite the shoulder to open. And then we'll come back onto the belly. And we'll take bow pose here. So we're going to keep our arms, our hands planted underneath the shoulders. And bend one knee, right knee, and grasp the right toes with the right hand. Bend the left knee and grasp the left toes with the left hand. You can stay here. This is already a pretty deep quad stretch, but if you feel like you want more, on an inhale, kick the toes into the hands, pressing the pelvis towards the mat, coming up into bow, taking a round of breath here, and then exhaling to release back down to the mat, release the feet, and press back into child's pose.
Take a moment to check in on your breathing here in child's pose. Slowing the body down. And then we'll press up and come to a seated position. Legs are extended in front of us. And open the legs wide. Whatever your wide is, whatever's comfortable for you. If it feels like it's good to have a bend in the knees, that's okay too. Inhale to get tall. You may want to have a block nearby as well. So inhale to get tall, and then exhale to slowly start to crawl forward until your body tells you to stop. And a block can be handy here. We're going to spend 30 or 45 seconds here in this forward fold. Forward folds are great for slowing down the body, calming the nervous system. And if you feel comfortable, you can put the block on the highest setting, relax the head here. Check in with your breathing. And as your body begins to relax, you may want to adjust the setting of your block. Maybe you can come a little bit forward, maybe not, that's okay. And then crawl the hands back underneath the face and slowly press up. Remove the block if you were using one. Place the hands underneath the knees and bring the legs together, extending the feet in front of you. Maybe you need to recenter yourself. Bend the knees and place the fingertips facing the body, hands behind you, planted on the mat. Inhale to press the hips towards the ceiling. You can keep your neck in this neutral position, or if it feels okay, you can let it relax behind you. Inhale and exhale to lower. Scoot down on your mat a little bit and we'll come into a supine position here on our backs. Extend the arms out wide and roll over onto the left side. Bring in the right arm, the right palm to rest in the left palm. We're on our left side, our knees are bent, almost a 90-degree angle. Left ear is resting on the mat. And inhale to open the arms like you're opening a book. Gaze can follow if it's comfortable for your neck. And exhale to bring the right palm back to meet the left. Inhale to open. And exhale to close. Inhale to open. And exhale to close. One more time. This time we'll hold it here. Inhale to open. Stay in your twist for 2 breaths. Come back to the neutral position on your back. Knees are bent, feet are planted on the mat. And roll over onto the right side, placing the left palm on top of the right. Right arm is extended. Inhale to open the left arm to the left. Gaze can follow if it's comfortable for your neck. Exhale to close the book. Inhale to open. And exhale to close. Inhale to open. And we'll stay here for a couple breaths. And then bring the knees back to center. And we'll prepare for an inversion here. You got a couple of options for our inversions tonight. One is if you like legs up the wall, you can bring your feet towards the ceiling. Keep the arms alongside the hips. Maybe you want to roll out the ankles going one way or the other. You might want to place a block underneath the sacrum. That's a nice option. Staying in legs up the wall for just a minute or so to help the heart not have to work so hard. Another option for tonight, since we have been practicing opening the shoulders all evening, is shoulder stand. So a shoulder stand, we want to make sure that we're keeping the neck straight, and we can plant the arms alongside the hips, palms facing down, and then raising the feet towards the sky, and then using the leverage of the hands to push ourselves up. And our feet are pointing towards the sky. Hands are at the base of the spine, supporting you. Shoulders connected to the mat. You can stay here, or if plow is part of your practice, you can start to keeping the neck straight in a straight line. Start to lower the toes over the head towards the floor. Maybe returning the palms to the mat. Breathing here. And then if you came into plow or shoulder stand, bringing the hands to the base of the spine, to the hips, and slowly rolling down one vertebra at a time. And we'll find happy baby or any other pose that is calling to you this evening. So bringing our hands to the outside or the inside of the soles of the feet, bending the knees, soles of the feet are shining towards the sky. Elbows are pressing into the knees, opening up the thighs a little bit. Maybe you want to roll on the back and give yourself a little massage. Taking whatever movement feels good to you today. You might want to extend one leg, straightening it, and then the other. Or maybe you want to straighten both legs. Your hamstring stretch here. And then we'll prepare for Shavasana, our final resting pose. So find whatever shape is comfortable for you for Shavasana. One option is to return to supported fish pose with a bolster or a blanket and your block resting, your head resting on the block. That's an option for tonight. Or you can find a traditional Shavasana. Feet extended towards both corners of the mat. Arms resting at your side, palms facing up. And letting go of all of the work that we just did. Reconnecting with your breath. Letting go of any need to control the breath or the body. or to try to find a certain shape or to meet any expectations. Relax the toes. Imagine a soft, fluffy cloud slowly rolling up each leg, one leg and then the other, gently easing any tension in the legs. And then it drifts up the belly, relaxing the belly, relaxing the shoulders and the neck, letting go of any tension in the jaw, the forehead, and taking a moment to just be. I offer you a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh this evening. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. Letting go takes a lot of courage sometimes, but once you let go, happiness comes very quickly. You won't have to go around and search for it. When you're ready, start to bring gentle movement to the fingers and toes. Maybe you take that good morning stretch, reaching fingers and toes away from each other. And slowly roll over to the side of your choice, stacking your hands underneath your head like a pillow. And take one moment in side resting pose. And when you're ready, press up into Sukhasana, easy seated pose. We'll take a final round of breath together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, draw the hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Gently bowing the head and offering. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May our practice benefit all beings. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I did record today's session, so I will be sending it out to everyone, and it'll be on a 1 week expiration date. So you'll have it for a week to practice in between sessions if you'd like to try any of the things that we did today, again, on your own. Thanks, everyone, for coming. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.